Have you ever kicked off a new goal with just like tons of excitement, you're feeling totally pumped, only to find that, I don't know, a few weeks later that spark just kind of fades? Maybe you wanted to get in shape or launch that side project or maybe finally tackle that closet. And then poof, motivation's gone and you're left wondering what happened and why does this keep happening?
Yeah, it's a surprisingly common experience. It really is. And it often leaves us feeling like, well, maybe we're just not good at setting goals.
Right. Like it's a personal failing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if the problem isn't actually you? What if it's the approach to goals that we've all sort of been taught? What if true sustainable progress isn't really about hitting some finish line, but about something, I don't know, deeper, more consistent, and frankly, maybe even more enjoyable?
That is exactly what we are diving into today. This isn't just about setting goals, okay? It's about setting goals that actually work so you can make progress. You can actually see and feel genuinely good about it. We've gathered some fantastic stuff here, insights from psychological studies, real-world strategies from like top performers, and we're going to distill the absolute most important nuggets for you. Hopefully it'll help shift how you think about ambition and effort and what it really means to succeed, on your own terms. So let's unpack this with an idea. I think it's brilliantly put by James Clear, and maybe you've heard this, the big difference between goals and systems. We're always told, focus on the goals, right? Hammer those goals home.
Mm-hmm. That's the standard advice.
But Clear makes this really compelling point. Goals are great for setting a direction, like knowing where you want to go. But it's your systems that actually make the progress.
Yeah. Think about it like a basketball coach. Okay, their ultimate goal, win the championship, sure. But their system, that's everything else. It's how they recruit, how they manage the assistant coaches, how they run practice every single day.
We're like a musician, right? Aiming to play some complex new piece. That performance is the goal. But the system is how often they practice, how they break down those tough measures, how they get feedback.
And the scoreboard analogy really clicks here, I think. In a game, you don't win by just staring at the scoreboard the whole time.
No, you'd lose.
You win by getting better each day, by focusing on the play-by-play, the system, the score, or the goal. Well, that tends to take care of itself if the system is solid.
That really clarifies it. It's not the what, it's the how.
But okay, if focusing only on goals can be limiting, what are some of maybe the less obvious problems with this goals-first thinking we all seem to have?
Well, one big one is that winners and losers often have the exact same goals. Seriously, think about the Olympics. Every single athlete there wants the gold medal. That's the goal.
But the goal itself isn't what separates them. It's the system of continuous small improvements that leads to different outcomes. It highlights this thing called survivorship bias. We only look at the winners, right? We forget all the others who had the same ambition.
That's a great point, like the British cycling team example.
Exactly. They didn't suddenly win the Tour de France just because they decided winning was their goal. They'd always wanted that. It was only when they implemented that meticulous system, the whole aggregation of marginal gains thing, these tiny, tiny improvements everywhere, that's when they started dominating.
Wow. Okay, so that shifts the focus completely. It's not about the outcome desire, it's the daily dedication. And that makes me wonder, if we're always chasing these big outcome goals, are we also setting ourselves up for like this recurring disappointment where success feels fleeting? What's the trap there?
Precisely. That brings us to the second problem. Achieving a goal is often just a momentary change. It doesn't last. Think about a messy room. Your goal is to clean it. Fine. You muster the energy, you tidy up. Great. For a moment, clean room.
But then...
But if you still have the same, say, sloppy habits that created the mess, well, you'll soon be looking at another pile of clutter. You end up chasing the same outcome again and again because you never changed the underlying system.
Right. It's like treating the symptom, not the cause.
Exactly. You've got to fix the problems at the systems level. Fix the inputs and the outputs. They tend to sort themselves out.
That makes so much sense. And it connects to something even more fundamental, I think, how goals can actually restrict your happiness. That hidden assumption, once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. I mean, I've definitely fallen into that trap myself so many times. I'll relax after I hit this target.
Oh, it's incredibly common. You're constantly deferring happiness.
Yeah.
Putting it off until the next milestone. But a systems first approach, that's kind of the antidote. When you learn to love the process, not just the end product, you don't need permission to be happy. You can find satisfaction anytime your system is running, like right now, in the moment.
So you're not always waiting.
You're not always waiting. And it also means by constantly chasing that next big thing, we often bypass the very skills and habits, the system itself, that would actually make us more resilient, more adaptable, whatever the outcome.
And what's left to push you forward after you hit a goal if all your energy was just tied to that one thing? That brings us to the last point here. Goals can be at odds with long-term progress. I think about the yo-yo effect you see sometimes. Like runners who train like crazy for months for a marathon. But the second they cross that finish line, boom, training stops, the goal is gone, motivation vanishes. How do we stop that?
Well, when all your hard work is just laser focused on that one outcome, yeah, the motivation can just evaporate once it's done. See, the purpose of setting goals is often to win the game, but the purpose of building systems, that's to keep playing the game. Real long-term thinking is actually, you could say, goalless thinking. It's about endless refinement, continuous improvement, this ongoing commitment to the process itself.
Okay, so falling in love with the process, building robust systems, that's paramount. But how do we effectively plan and integrate our goals within these systems? Because goals do have a role, right? Setting that initial direction. Which brings us to laying the foundation the right way to set goals. And the first big mistake people make, skipping the reflection phase, just jumping right in.
Oh, it's such a critical oversight. I see it all the time. People just launch into new goals without even looking back. Reflection. It doesn't have to be hours. Even just say 15, 30 minutes. Ask yourself, what went well last year? What didn't? What am I celebrating? What lessons did I actually learn?
Just taking that pause.
Exactly. Taking that little bit of time, maybe jotting down notes or even recording a voice memo. It can stop you from setting goals that don't really align with what you've learned or what you truly value now. Plus, you'll probably recognize some small wins you did have, which is, incredibly motivating in itself.
That's powerful. We're always pushing forward, but looking back gives such valuable insight. Okay, mistake number 2, lacking a strong why. Goals without real deep meaning, they just tend to fizzle out, don't they?
Absolutely.
Like maybe you set a goal to wake up at 5 a.m. because it sounds super productive, but then, your toddler was up all night and that motivation just vanished. It feels forced.
It is forced, often. If you set a goal just because it sounds good or maybe you feel some external pressure, it's incredibly hard to stick with it when life gets challenging. To find your real why, you got to dig a bit. Ask, why does this goal really matter to me? And then whatever the answer, ask why. Again, keep going until you hit something truly personal, something meaningful that sparks real determination.
So maybe it's not just exercise more.
Right. Maybe the why is, I want the energy to keep up with my kids, or I need this for my mental health. That personal connection, that purpose, it becomes your compass. It grounds you when motivation dips.
And that leads perfectly into the third mistake, just being too vague. Goals like get healthier or be more productive. They sound good, but they're so hard to measure. It feels like setting yourself up to fail almost. What does get organized even mean?
Exactly. It could mean anything. Declutter the whole house. Or just get the kids' school bags ready the night before. It's too fuzzy. The solution here is the good old SMART framework. You've probably heard of it. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So instead of get healthier, maybe it's walk for 30 minutes after dinner 3 times a week. Specific, measurable.
Or get organized becomes.
Organize my home office by decluttering for 15 minutes every day for the next 2 weeks. That clarity gives you an actual plan. It lets you track progress. And crucially, it lets you celebrate those small wins along the way.
Okay, so we've reflected, found our why, made our goals SMART. Now, how do we really turbocharge our progress? Make these things happen? This is where practical strategies and tools come in, starting with something pretty amazing. The power of visualization. I mean, people like Beyoncé, Jim Carrey, they use this. And it's backed by science. It actually trains your brain.
It is quite remarkable, and it's way more than just, thinking positively. One simple technique is a vision board. Physical or digital, doesn't matter. It turns those abstract goals into clear visual reminders. Our brains process images so much faster than text.
So it keeps it top of mind.
Exactly. Sharpens focus, boosts motivation. But the key is, define your goals clearly before you pick the images. Make sure it's your vision, not just something that looks nice.
Building on that, there's guided visualization. This sounds more active than just looking at a board, creating detailed mental scenarios of success.
Yeah, it's more immersive. Studies show it can genuinely reduce stress and anxiety while boosting performance. Sports psychologists use this with elite athletes all the time, getting them to mentally rehearse strategies, build confidence.
How do you do it effectively?
Find a quiet space, first off. Use some deep breathing to get centered. Then really engage all 5 senses in your mind. What does success look like? Sound like? Feel like? Hear the applause. Feel that confident posture. See the results. The brain actually starts to treat this mental practice like a real experience.
That's where it gets really wild. There's also mental practice visualizing the action without doing it. I read about that Cleveland Clinic study. People increased finger strengths by 35% just through mental rehearsal.
It sounds incredible, but yes,
Yeah.
the brain fires up similar neural pathways whether you're doing it or just vividly imagining it. Studies with musicians, basketball players, they show almost identical improvements from visualization compared to physical practice alone. Now, combine the two, mental and physical practice. Research suggests you can reach the same skill level in potentially half the time. It's like priming your brain, a mental dress rehearsal.
Amazing. Okay, what else?
Then there's future self-writing. This is really powerful for self-awareness. You literally write a letter from your future self, maybe a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line, back to your present self.
How does that help?
It helps clarify what truly matters. It shifts your current behavior because you deepen that emotional connection to who you want to become. It makes the goals feel really personal. Consistency is key, though, like maybe doing it for 30 days to really build those new brain pathways.
And for the tech lovers among us, goal-setting apps.
Oh yeah, they're booming. Apps like Envision, which mixes guided audio and vision boards, or Goalscape for a visual overview. They can be super helpful. Many have visual progress tracking, which studies show can boost achievement rates by like 42%.
Wow, just seeing it visually.
Yeah. Plus reminders, maybe some data analytics. There are even advanced AI mentors now, like Mentor AI, that help break down big goals and provide feedback, even accountability through communities.
Okay, lots of tools. But there's a catch, right?
There's always a catch. It's crucial to remember these techniques work best when they complement real-world action. They don't replace it. They're like high-performance fuel, but you still need the engine. You still need to drive the car.
Right, you still got to do the work. And speaking of doing the work, especially when life is busy, prioritization and time management, non-negotiable. We have classic techniques like the Eisenhower matrix, urgent versus important, focusing on important, not urgent for long-term stuff. Or the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, finding the 20% of activities that give you 80% of the results.
Absolutely. And for managing the actual hours in the day, things like time blocking, scheduling specific chunks of time for tasks can be a game changer. Or the Pomodoro technique, those focused 25-minute bursts with short breaks, really works for a lot of people.
Batching similar tasks together too, right? Less mental switching.
Yes, batching is great. And delegation, if that's an option for you. Freeing up your time for the high-impact stuff. These aren't just trendy productivity hacks. They're ways to be more intentional with your limited time and energy.
And really, all of this just boils down to consistency, doesn't it? It's about those small, deliberate actions done regularly, not waiting for huge bursts of motivation.
Exactly. Motivation waxes and wanes. It's unreliable. But consistency, that's a result of building good habits. If you're starting something new, like a study routine, maybe just start with 10 minutes a day. That's it. Build a habit first.
And then gradually increase.
And gradually increase as it feels more automatic. The aim is to weave these new actions into your daily life until they become second nature, building that flywheel of momentum.
Okay, so we're building momentum, but how do we sustain it, keep the journey going?
This is where the Essential Progress Review comes in. It needs to be a structured process, a regular time to reflect on your goals, honestly evaluate your progress, and make adjustments.
Not just setting and forgetting.
Definitely not. This review isn't just ticking a box. It's vital for seeing what's actually working and what isn't. And doing it regularly gives you that sense of accomplishment, which fuels more motivation. It keeps you engaged.
And speaking of accomplishment, one of the most powerful things, maybe overlooked sometimes, is celebrating the small wins.
Hugely powerful and often skipped. Acknowledging even tiny achievements. It literally releases dopamine in your brain, that feel-good chemical. It boosts your confidence, your resilience, your overall well-being. It creates this positive feedback loop.
Keeps you going when things get tough.
Absolutely. And it prevents burnout. Like James Clear says, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. Small wins are the process.
So how do we actually embrace that? Make sure we notice the small wins.
Well, actively track your daily achievements. Use a journal, an app, even just a simple planner. Seeing progress visually is motivating. Also, set meaningful rewards. Match the reward to the size of the milestone. Maybe a short meditation after finishing a daily task you dread. A fun hobby session for hitting a weekly goal.
Learning something new for a monthly achievement.
Perfect. Or maybe a social celebration for finishing a bigger project. And definitely share your successes. With trusted friends, mentors, accountability partners, it reinforces the good habits and builds that support network. As Professor Thomas Bateman pointed out, building these short-term gratifications into daily life really helps you stay motivated for the long haul.
Okay, but let's be real. The journey isn't always smooth sailing. We need to talk about overcoming the pitfalls too. Mistake number 4, being overly ambitious, getting too excited at the start.
Oh yeah, the New Year's resolution trap.
Exactly. Trying to tackle everything at once, new career goals, massive fitness challenges, learning 3 languages.
It just leads to overwhelm and burnout, which is why so many resolutions crash and burn by, mid-January?
So what's the balance?
It is about balance. Adventurous goals are great, they push us. But if all your goals are huge leaps, you're likely setting yourself up for disappointment. Maybe pick 1 or 2 really ambitious goals, then balance them with those smart, achievable goals we talked about. If your big goal is running a half marathon, maybe pair it with a smaller, consistent goal, like run 3 times a week for 30 minutes. Progress is still progress, however slow it feels. It's about sustainable momentum.
Not just a frantic sprint followed by collapse.
Precisely.
Okay, and the final mistake, number 5. This one feels particularly relevant today, comparing your goals to others, especially with social media.
Oh, it's such a damaging trap, really is. We see the polished highlight reel, right? Tip of the iceberg. We don't see the struggles, the messiness underneath.
And then our own goals suddenly feel inadequate.
Exactly. We compare our messy, real behind-the-scenes footage to someone else's curated success montage. It's vital to remember everyone's path is unique. Focus on your values, your needs, your life circumstances. Your definition of success is the only one that matters.
So when obstacles inevitably pop up,
Identify what's really holding you back. Try to develop a plan to address it. Lean on your support network. And crucially, learn from the setbacks. Don't see failure as final. See it as data. Every challenge is a chance to learn, to grow, to refine your system.
ultimately, all of this seems to point toward a more holistic approach, doesn't it? Integrating personal and professional goals for just overall well-being.
Yes, absolutely. It's not about compartmentalizing. It's about synergy. Setting clear boundaries between work and personal time. Actually scheduling personal things like important appointments, just like you would a work meeting.
Aligning goals so they support each other across different areas of your life.
Right. And underpinning all of it is prioritizing self-care.
Yeah.
Your physical health, your mental health, they're the foundation. The deeper you engage with this whole process, understanding yourself, your why, your systems, the more you'll retain and apply it for future success. It's all interconnected.
You know, what we've unpacked today, it feels like more than just a collection of tips. It really feels like a mindset shift. Moving beyond seeing goals as these isolated finish lines, and instead seeing them as part of this dynamic, interconnected system that supports your whole life, your well-being. It's about building those habits, celebrating every little step, and actually genuinely falling in love with the process.
Exactly. By embracing reflection, really defining that deep why, making your goals smart, by leveraging visualization, building consistent daily habits, and understanding that celebrating small wins isn't some kind of fluffy extra, it's a psychological necessity. You really can transform your relationship with progress. This whole approach helps you not just reach your aspirations, but actually feel good and confident along the way, during the journey itself.
So as you listen and reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this. What single small step, or maybe one tiny system change, could you implement starting today, like right now? Something to kickstart this new way of moving towards your aspirations. Maybe it's just 15 minutes of quiet reflection tonight, or identifying one small why for a goal you already have. What's that one little thing you can start right now to make progress you can see and feel genuinely good about? We really hope this deep dive is giving you some powerful tools and maybe some fresh perspectives. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to our next exploration together.